Alright, so here's a tutorial on how to import and edit promotion photos for MMSB. So we're going to start off just by opening our basic photo. So you're most likely going to start off with something like this, probably not even as pretty because you might not have a backdrop, but we'll get into that. So the first thing that you want to do utilizing the magic wand tool is going to select all the background. Just to get started, we can duplicate this layer by right-clicking the layer over here, clicking duplicate layer, and then you can go ahead and hide that background layer. The reason we do this is in case you mess up, you at least have the baseline to start over with. So you have the background copy. Select the magic wand tool, and then make sure your tolerance over here is right around 30. That's usually a pretty good baseline for getting the right selection. So you're going to just click the background, and hopefully it's smart enough to get most of the background. You'll notice that, especially with the shadows, the darker the shadows get, depending on the flash you're using, it's not going to pick up on all of this stuff. So just by holding Shift and additionally clicking, you can get rid of most of that additional stuff. It's also going to grab up a lot more of the stuff in the background. It's key that you zoom in to make sure you're getting everything. Sometimes these shadows in the shoes can get a little bit stubborn, but that's not the end of the world. Many submission photos will have a little bit of a drop shadow over here. Now you'll notice with texturized stuff like this carpet, it doesn't exactly select it the way you'd want it to. So to solve this problem, since it's not even near our object, you're just going to select the marquee tool over here. And then additionally, like I said before, holding Shift, just kind of select the areas around it, getting as close to the shoe as possible if necessary. And I'm zooming in and zooming out using hotkeys, and the quickest way to do that is Control plus and Control minus. Control plus, Control minus. Once you have that character completely secluded, you just go ahead and hit delete. And that'll give you a checkered background like this, basically showing everything that is gone. A lot of the times that the character is canted, you want to make sure you select the background within this area here if there's a little bit of white showing between the elbow. And I would recommend that you make sure that there is a little bit of white showing between the elbow and the body, because that is something that they look for. It's very important that you delete all this selection and do all the background deletion before you crop, simply because you're going to lose a lot of resolution. So once that's done, I'm just going to go ahead and use this crop tool. And then you want to put in your dimensions up here. So like these are already put in because I've been doing them recently, but you want to make sure it's 4x5. That is a standard size. And then you can start to hone this in on the character. Now this character, you'll notice, is kind of a little bit leaning to the left. So just to solve that, if you just hover around the box, you'll get these arrows that are curved, which basically you can rotate the character a little bit. I'll just cant him a little bit to the right to kind of offset that. You want him to pretty much cover up the entire box, and you want this first line of the rule of thirds to be cutting him right down the middle. That'll give you enough space over here for the title board without making it seem a little bit left or right heavy. So once you have the character right in where you want him to be, just hit enter, and that'll automatically crop down the photo, and you're ready for adding the title board. Now the title board is going to go right here, but you want it to basically start right around his knuckle and end right below his knee, so basically within the bottom 2/3. Sometimes, depending on the crazy length of the billet description that they give you, you might need the font to be a little bit smaller, but in those scenarios it's okay to move the character over to the left a little bit if necessary, in which case you'll just grab this tool over here and then use the arrow keys left and right to adjust. So go ahead and select the text tool and just click right below his knuckle. Actually, that's a little bit high, so we'll go a little bit lower. We can adjust later on. So you're going to start off, obviously, last name, first name, middle initial, rank, MOS, height and weight, and if necessary, body fat percentage, only if it's at or above the limit. After that, you're going to want to put his EDI-PI. It used to be Social Security number, but now it's EDI-PI, as you already know. Unit, and then billet description. And of course, the date. The date the photo was taken, obviously. And then the certification. So it's going to be certified by last name, first initial, middle initial, and then usually it's a sergeant major. So you put their rank or title, and then the unit that they're associated with. Sorry, I forgot. It's going to be rank, last name, first name. So you can just click this grabber tool and kind of move it down a little bit. And like I said, sometimes it goes on long. If that's the case, you can simply move the character over as much as necessary. That's basically it. Once you have everything wrapped up and you've verified with the Marine that all the information is correct, you're going to just do a file save as. And then you can change to a JPEG. And I usually, just for cataloging purposes, I do last name, rank, and then first and middle initial. Then I'll make folders based on the month or the quarter, whatever is easier for you depending on how often you take these photos. Now once you hit enter, it's going to give you this prompt, quality 12, and it's going to generate an estimated size of the file. Now MMSB states that it needs to be 150 kilobytes or less, which is extremely small. And some sergeants major will be very picky about this, but generally if it's under 500 kilobytes or half a meg, they can pretty much work with it entered into your OMPF. So if you go all the way down, you'll notice that it's still above that 150 kilobyte threshold, but this is fine. If somebody's being a stickler, just save it, open it back up, and save it again, doing the same process of lowering the quality, and then you'll have no problem getting below that 150 kilobyte threshold. So you just hit OK, file saves. Once it is a JPEG, you can no longer go back into it and edit it like this. So if you want to make if you want to save it separately as a PSD file, you can, and then you can just dump your PSD files every couple of months once they become no longer relevant. If that's something you want to do, you just do save as, and then you leave it as a PSD. You can rename it. But that takes up a lot of space, so it's not really a necessary thing. In the event that you do need to edit something and you don't have the PSD saved, all you're going to want to do is go back in there, open up that JPEG, grab the square marquee tool, and select the text, and then you can basically just delete it, or you can take the brush tool and then holding Alt select the background color and then just white it out, and then Control D will deselect that area, and then you can basically just start over with the text box and then just do a whole new title placard. You're going to want to make sure you change your color back to black. But that's basically it. Hopefully you don't run into any of those problems, but you may, and if that's the case, just reference this video again. But that pretty much wraps it up. If you have any other questions, just let me know.